Okay, so this is it. The second semi-finals between Paul and Jesulin, and these guys are old nemesises. They really have had a couple of tournaments where they have hit each other quite hard, I would say, and Jesulin has normally come off as the winner. Paul, very good player. Paul seems to have on and off days, so I'm interested to see, where this is going to go. He's instantly gone in with the armored assault tactics, which I have not seen this commander used for quite some time.
Oh, I love this commander. When I used to be good at auto match, that's what I played with. Yeah, it's good because you get radio intercept. However, you are quite vulnerable in the early to mid game because you've not got any shock troopers, any elite infantry of any kind, or anything that comes on before, like, say, 12 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about it is a very good commander in the late game, because obviously you do get, the mobility of the T-34-85s with the IS-2. Now, it was a little bit better when you had the IS-2 and the T-34-85s as call-ins. Obviously, they're not call-ins anymore. They are restricted to the Tier 4, so it's a little more difficult to get the same effect out of it. Nevertheless, we're probably going to see the same core build for this commander from Paul, which is going to be about 5 or 6 conscripts. Probably going to look to fully upgrade them as well, and then reserve all of that fuel for those late game units.
You are right, the commander has been nerfed since they tied the T-34-85 to the Tier 4 building. However, you do have the crew repairs, which are damn good, and the full Sturmovik, the big one, the one that kills everything. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good late game doctrine, and also, he does have the benefit of learning what every unit Jesulin brings onto the field is, thanks to the radio intercept. So he has got that tactical advantage there. A good player using the radio intercept will be able to provide counters, and assess the builds that his opponent is going. And if he can assess the build order Jesulin is going for, if he identifies it as a familiar build, something that he knows Jesulin plays a lot, then it's oh, sorry, his phone's going off here.
I thought a nuclear bomb had gone off.
Sorry, yeah, it's an emergency phone line. So yeah, I mean, it's. If he can identify a build that Jesulin's going for, it will put him in a good position.
Well, the build that Jesulin's going for is Grenadier, 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 Grenadier. So it's not going to be that informative at the moment. It is good when mines go down. Sometimes it tells you about mines, which is quite nice. Jesulin going for the cut-off with the Pioneers in the east there.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Yeah, I mean, not as many conscripts as I was expecting to see at this stage.
Because of Tier 1 and the M3 being built.
Yeah, so he's actually deviating from what the meta is, specifically. It's, we would normally expect with this doctrine to see a massive conscripts. And also, the massive conscripts is very, very good on a map like this, where you've got, as we say, all the site blockers. There's so many opportunities. There's so many opportunities for the flanking, the pushes. I'm sorry, these phones are going off all around me.
You have more than one phone. This man is a man.
I'm actually contracted to answer these phones, so this must be something quite serious.
I will take over. I am an expert play-by-play.
Yeah, I have the camera though. I'm gonna have to pause this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pause this. I'm really, really sorry, guys.
Real life takes hold, guys.
This is a real life issue that I have to. We're just gonna pause this here, and I'm just gonna let you deal with that.
I'll sing some songs. Don't you worry, I've drank.
I would never answer a phone unless it was really serious, so sorry.
Okay. Now, whilst we be very reverent, because it could be a serious situation, I am going to entertain you with a series of songs. Now, I am looking at the viewer count, and we're currently at 336, so if after these songs the viewer count has plummeted, I know to stop singing. But I'm just going to have to go for it. I didn't actually have a song in mind when I started saying what I was just saying. I don't know why I said that, actually. I didn't have a series of songs. But I will talk about the community. I hate each and every individual one of you. I think you're all tossers. Crazy Dawid said, "No AE, just shut it, you talk way too much." But I'm killing time, man. What do you expect? I can't make Stormless come back to the casting table and press play on this map until he does. Can you shut up, dude, says Vaza1719. What I will say about Vaza1719 is you're an illegitimate child, and you were actually, your childhood was a horrendous series of bodges on the doctors that should have sorted something out for you, but they didn't, and you're here now, and that's an unfortunate situation. And now Sturm, okay, I'll be quiet. I've had 3 people tell me to be quiet, and it's upsetting me now.
You would not believe, honestly, like this. Can we wait just like 5 minutes whilst I sort this out? I know it's really, really bad timing. We're early on in the game, so it shouldn't be like a massive thing.
No, it's fine, mate. Real life takes...
There's a big emergency in the offices that I work for, and I have to sort this out.
Don't allow me to carry on talking to the chat, though.
Carry on drinking and doing what you're doing. I'm only going to be 5 minutes, and then we'll get back into this. Guys, I unreservedly apologise for this. Real life in this situation does have to take over, so I will be back in 5 minutes.
Hang on, am I just left with an open mic and a camera? That's weird. How do I turn it off? This guy has got a webcam to my house. What do I do? Hello? I'm stuck here. There is a camera watching me, and there's like 300 people there. I've got people shouting at me in Steam, telling me to be quiet, but I'm left with an open mic. I mean, I've been professional thus far, I've casted the games well, but I wasn't prepared for this. What do you expect me to do? I can't go round Stormless's house and change things on his overlay. Let me talk about my tournament. This tournament's great. I could carry on talking about this tournament, that's good, but I know a lot about more mine. This is currently Jesulin versus Paul in the semi-finals. The winner faces Nagano, who performed excellently to get to the final, it must be said. And yeah, he's performed really, really well. A 2-1 victory was not what we expected. I mean, most people would have been expecting 2-0 to Nagano, to Love Nest in this situation. With regards to Love Nest and Jesulin, these guys have been playing each other in finals for a long time, so when people first saw these brackets, they would have been expecting Jesulin, Love Nest straight away. Now Nagano has thrown a giant spanner in the works, and we're going to see something else entirely.
I'm back.
Thank God for that.
What's this? I'm seeing self-advertising. What's been going on here?
Creator would have hung, drawn, and quartered me. It's fine. I talked about life in general.
I am so sorry, guys. I absolutely had to deal with that. It was a downright emergency, but fortunately I just managed to pass it off to my manager. So let's get back into the game with where we left off. So Paula, again, we've seen him. He's gone straight in with the Armored Assault Doctrine. We haven't seen the kind of conscripts that we were expecting to see come on the field here. The build is a little weird for me at the moment. Tier 1 as well. I don't know what the benefit is, unless we're going to be going for the snipers here. What is the benefit of Tier 1 here?
Tier 1, the benefit is M3 and Flamer cores on a map that offers a lot of shot blockers and roads, basically. So it could work, it could fail miserably.
But I mean, what about the threat of the Grenadiers? I mean, this seems like a risk for me. Jesulin isn't exactly someone who suffers from micro issues, He's going to get that Panzerfaust off the second that Paul slips up. The pathing, if there's like here, there we go. The Panzerfaust is out straight away. What was the aim here? This is a mistake in my opinion to go, rushing around with the flamer like this.
Oh, he's kept it alive though.
Very, very lucky to do that, really.
Soviet HQ now
but with something that's so experimental. Well, it's not experimental because it did actually used to be a viable strategy in this game. It did used to be a viable strategy. So he was lucky that it actually stayed alive. And if he pulls this off, it'll be a very grand gesture.
Yeah, I mean, he he got lucky then. But I mean,
Yeah.
Jesulin is going to know that that's going to be the case now. He's, the opportunity to pull that off has been missed now by Paula. Jesulin did manage to maintain a decent amount of map control, considering. I mean,
Our territory is falling into enemy
so
hands.
far, it's not been a great early game from Paula. He has no territory whatsoever other than the munitions point, really, and the strategic surrounding it. The heavy Gren build from Jesulin is easily going to be able to counter this. At long range, the small arms fire is going to be able to deal with the M3. If it gets close range in to try and get the flame shot off, then he's going to get Fausted. So this unit is pointless, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe he's going to show me something.
The Faust is the best snare in the game, so the M3 is up against it.
Here we go again. Look, Jesulin is so quick on the Faust, and there we go, double Faust in. The M3 is gone. Is the Flamer squad going to get wiped in the retreat here? It has to go through the MG, but fortunately that has decided to pack up and relocate. So, I mean, a very, very bad start for Paula at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't have Molotovs, doesn't have anti-tank, because obviously he spent the first crucial amount of fuel on the M3 on the tier 1. And he's in a precarious position. I foresee that Jesulin could just roll him at this point.
The other thing as well is that after actually, going ahead with a strategy like that, he picked the commander straight away. He went into the tier 1 strategy. I have the feeling maybe it would have been better if he had played that strategy out and then picked the commander afterwards, or based on whether it had worked or not. Because losing that now, it kind of suggests that he had a preset strategy using that build. It hasn't worked, and now he's committed to that commander. So it's even more difficult for him now to actually be flexible with his, response to Jesulin's play here. He's very, very restricted now on what he can do.
He is. It's going to be interesting. Already, Jesulin's rolling in on the veterancy. I mean, it's 7 minutes. He's got a Vet 2 Grenadier. That's pretty damn impressive. 13 kills. I'm presuming he's going to use him for the first LNG, and that is going to be what we like to call in the casting industry a bulldozer of momentum. He's just going to roll him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see. We've got a quick tier 3 coming up here from Paul now. Probably going to look to rush. I don't know. What would you suggest here? I'm thinking
T70.
over.
It's gotta be.
T70 or the half track. Maybe should consider going for the half track just for the reinforce. But obviously now you lose the reinforce when you upgrade to the quad cal. So based on that, actually, yeah, the T70 may be the go-to option here. This is very, very difficult for him right now. He's about to lose full map control. Jesulin as Austere is easily going to be able to get up into tier 3 with something to counter this in time.
Yeah, it is massively. I mean, Paul gets one last chance at this match. And that is highly dependent on what comes out of tier 3. By the time it comes out of tier 3, in 30 fuel time, Jesulin will be in a very strong position, so he needs to make an impact. And, it's going to be difficult.
Well, Jesulin is looking like a very, very strong contender in this particular round in the semi-finals. What are your thoughts on a Jesulin and Nagano final?
I don't want to. I was thinking of asking you the same question.
I don't want to put markers on it right now. We've only just started this round of semi-finals, but
retain a veneer of professionalism after you left me with a live webcam and I didn't know what to do for 10 minutes. So I'm going to decline to talk about the final until at least game 2. Honestly,
he did go for the quad cal, by the way.
Did he?
Yeah, the M3 is now on the field. Is he going to be using it for the reinforcements he needs to take this map control? Is he going to go straight in with the quad cal? It is upgrading the quad cal. No AT on the field yet from Jesulin, who has just invested in a sniper. So the quad cal may catch him off guard here. It really depends on how much range Paula keeps with this unit. If he uses it like he did with the M3, just kind of driving it straight into all the Grenadiers, then he won't enjoy any success with this. But used at the correct range, he may even be able to put a lot of pressure on Jesulin.
Maybe a combat mechanic. I'll be massively surprised if it is, but Jesulin hasn't built that pack he should have by 8 minutes. I mean, if you're in a game where you fear your competitor, you expect Wehrmacht to invariably have a pack out by at least 10 minutes. It's just gone 10 minutes, and he hasn't got one. So he's opened a window of opportunity for Paul.
Yeah, and Paul will take advantage of that opportunity. He needs to, and you could tell that Paul was kind of hedging his bets on a tier 3 strategy because he got it up very, very early, even in the face of having to reinforce his units. He opted to do that ahead of anything else. So yeah, it's a good decision for him actually. He is going to be able to get a large window of usability out of the quad cal M3. And
M5. You will
sorry, M5.
Watch the cast back.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I keep calling it M3. Is the British one the M3?
The M3 is the one that comes out of tier 1, isn't it? That's the M3 is the.
Sorry, yeah, I'm thinking of a different reinforced half track. I think the British one is an M3 resupply one.
Yeah, yes, it is. You are right.
Yeah, I'm getting them muddled up. So yeah, sorry, I'll call it M5. But I mean, the window for this is quite large now. Jesulin still hasn't gone for an AT gun. He's actually manpower restricted to do that. So this is very, very nice actually by Paula. Good recovery.
The Puma's coming out whilst the Sniper's coming out. So interesting. The Puma could go on the hunt for the M5 quad mount.
By the way, for anyone asking why this map is at night, the maps for this tournament have been redesigned for Halloween by the 141 media guys, so they've put it in a dark and stormy setting for you. So there you go, armed checkpoints and everything else.
Does get the kill on the M5 quad mount, so its intended purpose was executed by Jesulin. Very good play. His build order is enacting its its intended purposes, which is great stuff in the player.
Yeah, I really do like that. He identified that he hadn't got the AT on the field in order to do that. He had been reserved in picking a commander early on in the game, which allowed him the flexibility to respond with the Puma. That's now going to give him a very, very nice window to get back in the game with the infantry he's got.
Oh, massively, yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing a decent level of ebb and flow. I'd say that the game that we originally thought was massively in Jesulin's favour could be a little bit more equal now, you'd argue. And it's a shame the quad mount died, because that was the thing that brought the player back into it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Paul was expecting that to happen by any means. There's just a note, by the way, the engineers got wiped by Jesulin's sniper there, which was actually a mistake on Paul's behalf. He didn't retreat from that engagement at all. Retreated when he had one squad member left, and it was kind of sitting there for ages. So getting the impression that Jesulin is feeling a bit more relaxed than Paula in this game at the moment. The micro from Jesulin has been more flowed, more controlled. Paula has, in some situations, struggled. He struggled with the M3 to keep the distance at correct range. He struggled with the quad cal as well in actually just moving it away from the Puma. I didn't see it even try to retreat. So looks like a very strong position at the moment for Jesulin.
It really does. It honestly does. And what we're now seeing from Paul is he's suffering. He's got a sniper. What's he going to do against medium armor? He's got no AT.
Well, it's interesting. What's the teching from Jesulin like? He has gone up to battle phase 2 now. So do we actually have the building up yet? It doesn't look like we do. So that may suggest Jesulin's either going to go up to tier 4. He's in a comfortable position to do that at the moment. Or maybe he will build the tier 3 and go, I don't know, what would he go for? He's got the Puma on the field, so not really a need for the Panzer IV to pick up the mid game right now.
It's a really odd game, isn't it? Everything is an it is an odd choice, except for the double snipers from Jesulin. But
yeah, well, they're trying to counter each other. I mean, we've seen this every point. The quad cal came on to counter Jesulin's build of the core infantry. We've then seen the Puma come out to deal with the quad cal, which has. This is now Paula's turn. What is he going to bring out in order to? Whoa! This is a squad on the left. Yeah, I just saw that. Big mistakes from Paula across the board here. He needs to pull out a counter to this Puma and then continue to deal with the infantry versus infantry engagements. The problem is that he hasn't actually been winning any infantry engagements, and he's lost his counters. So, Jesulin's all over him on this game.
He does have the T-70 out. I mean, this thing would have been absolutely fantastic 6 minutes ago, but it's now, drawing on 15 minutes. Although Jesulin, he does have the Puma, so what's the point, man? The Puma's a fast unit. It's a heavy, well, it's not a heavy thing but itself, but it counters medium armor heavily. So yeah.
Yeah, it's It's going to be good for bouncing left and right, you know, quite hard. The problem is that Paul does not have the kind of map control to utilize bouncing teams, you know, from left to right. If he was in a position where he had map control and the T-70 was roaming left to right, pulling units over, dealing some damage, then I could 100% agree with this decision. But to be playing the T-70 when you're pushed back to your base, it doesn't actually provide you any decent maneuverability with the Puma on the field, because the Puma could just sit on the spearhead position at the front and pretty much hit you comfortably every direction you go. So it's a very, very interesting choice. Here we go, seeing the Puma, and now he's probably going to be confident enough to push with it as well. Look at that, nearly goes down in 2 shots there.
Yeah. I mean, Paul has anti-tank grenades, but he only has 2 conscript squads, and he's got to use them guys to cap. So obviously the flamethrowers have to stay in the centre because that's why they're there. And the conscripts can't offer the T-70 the cover it so desperately needs.
Jesulin's, he's so comfortable right now. He's not even utilising the snipers. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to put that kind of manpower drain on Paula. You know, he's got more squads on the field. He's just comfortably sitting back, building up the tech. Let's have a look at the teching of Jesulin quickly. Has he gone up to battle phase 3? He has not. So it looks like, yeah, there we go. Tier 3 has been built. So possibly looking at a Panzer IV coming out on the field fairly soon.
I mean, Paul is building a Zis, which is a decent counter for the Panzer, but you know, he's massively under cost. It's his lacking in manpower that is the real driving factor for his loss. It was the tier 1 as a bad decision. If he hadn't have gone it, that gamble that did not pay off, he'd be massively in this game, but he just isn't.
Yeah. And again, you know, with this decision to go straight in with armoured assault tactics, you know, he was relying on having fuel this whole game. And teching tier 1, you know, it means he's had to tech to tier 2 now to get the AT up that he desperately needs. Look at the amount of fuel he's got on the board at 17 minutes in the game. You know, he is not going to be able to get T-34-85s or the IS-2 out in any decent amount of time.
Absolutely not. And you were banged on with what you said in the very early passage of play, with the Faust being such great snares against that M3 rush. It just was never going to work. I don't know why he went to. Does it work for him in auto match? I can't see that it would, to be honest.
No, I mean, this is really difficult. Snipers are now running open in negative cover. Does decide to retreat. What are these conscripts doing in this little building down there? I mean, does it even have windows? It has 1 window. That's the maximum kind of effect you'll get out of that.
Oh no, Jesulin, our sharpshooter friend is dying. Quick, into the shed. Some
strange, you know, strange decisions here from Paula coming in. It does not set a good, you know, a good kind of place mark for how this round is going to go for Paula.
Absolutely not. And as I said, I will not discuss the final quite yet until at least we get to game 2. But I did just again want to ask you about the final. I had the urge, which yeah. Hopefully Paul can not play a strange and weird strategy in game 2 though. I mean, if he doesn't, and if he does go for something a little bit less of a gamble and a little bit more sensible, he could push Jesulin hard, he could make him falter, and he could push the ace game. I know I'm already talking about an ace game implying that Paul loses, but I can't see that he gets back into this one. You Stormers.
I don't see it right now, to be honest. There's, you know, with the Austrian on the field, the manpower is going to be draining fast for Paula now. He needs that manpower in the late game for even having the chance of those late vehicles. He hasn't got any kind of, you know, there's nothing that's able to go around the map that's mobile and deal with the Austrian and the Puma. There's absolutely nothing. You know, desperately trying to cap this fuel on the left-hand side, just to, you know, with the chance of getting in the late game. But he's, you know, verging on a triple cap. You know, he's already at a VP disadvantage. It's very, very difficult. I think one of the benefits he could be using right now is laying down some mines and just expecting Jesulin to roll into his base, because it could happen. And it may actually save him and turn the game.
You're bang on. You're absolutely bang on. And what you find in some classical Company of Heroes games is that mines in bases have saved games. It sounds preposterous, but in tournament level play, when they're trying to absolutely finalise the win, sometimes they lose the game by rolling over a mine. I can't see it happening in this game. The other point I wanted to mention is, isn't an Ostrand and a Puma lovely synergy?
Yeah, it is. Very mobile units. very, very well attuned at both of their, specialist engagements, taking down infantry, taking down vehicles at range. They are all over the map. It is a lovely combination.
Yeah, they are. It's nice to see two specialists interlink to propose an all-encompassing solution. We sound like business managers at this point.
Look at this. Have we got 18 aids researched? No. Looks like Paula's just going for the VP cap there. Ostman coming in on the rear flank there to pick up the snipers. Gets one of the squads. Oh, sorry, one of the models.
He does have the AT grenades.
He is going to push it. Oh, he has
to use some loss to the Ostman before they even take effect. What's the point unless it's got 90% health? There we go. Now it takes effect.
One of the snipers goes down. Jesulin is now in the base. There is no set AT to defend here. Jesulin is just going all in on Paula right now, and there really isn't anything that Paula can do to stop this.
Well, a lovely bloom of smoke to conceal himself from the Zis, but he's just going to be able to keep destroying squads here.
This is just crazy. Look at this. The snipers have actually been forced into the bunker for defense. Looks like the T-70 and the AT gun are not going to be able to deal with the Ostman though. So it's a nice pickup for Paula. It's what he needs. There is still time for him to get back in this game, but the problem is that he doesn't really have anything on the field right now that is able to overcome this.
Nope, but the Sturmovik attack is doing decent damage on the Puma. It is going to... Again, we've said the phrase window of opportunity, but Company of Heroes is very much that. You do get windows of opportunity in which to push your advantage, and this is one of them for Paul. If he wants to win this is his time.
Well, I wonder what the next tech unit for Jesulin is going to be. I'll be interested to see, is he going to replace the Ostwind? He must be fairly confident that Paula is lacking on fuel right now and hedging his bets on something like the IS-2. Are we going to see another tech upgrade from Jesulin? Let's just check actually. He hasn't gone up to battle phase 3 yet. He's actually just storing manpower. There we go, the Panzer IV has just been built, so good decision I think there. Getting Panzer IV up, maybe get some veterans on it. If it does get into the late game, then at least he's got a solid unit there to help him out.
Yeah, interestingly, and also he could then go for the command tank at 125 fuel again, and that would offer a decent counter to an IS-2 with the Det-2 Puma. So, as we were saying about victory points, Paul is now down to 150, Jesulin sitting pretty on 454. He's not in a strong position whatsoever. But then again, 10 minutes ago we were talking about the guy as though he'd lost the game already, and he's certainly still in it, just about.
Yeah, there was a point at the start of this game where I thought Jesulin might get overrun. The second day I saw Armoured Assault, actually, I thought maybe we're going to see a flood of conscripts going in, some good micro from Paula. Jesulin's going to get overrun with his 4-man squads. This decision to go tier 1 with the M3 has just put Paula behind from the start, and it's a real shame really. I think he's going to be gutted with his decision to go straight in there. This is exactly what we saw from Paula in that tournament I was telling you about previously. He jumped straight in with this commander. He didn't give himself time to think about what was going to happen after those starting engagements. When he lost the first engagements, that's it, the game was just over. It's nice to see that he's holding out into this game a bit longer and trying to recover it, but I just don't think he's got it now. He committed to a commander that he didn't get any of the benefits to in the first 5 minutes. He lost the right to use that commander in the first 5 minutes with the squad losses.
It's such a strange sequence of events for Paul. He chose a commander that requires conservative play in order to reap the benefits in the long term. And with that commander, he went for a strange, ultra-aggressive M3 against Grenadier spam. It just hasn't worked out. I mean, he's played well to stay in it must be said.
That being said, he's getting a little bit more map control in now. He has managed to throw Jesulin off of the center and what looks like the right. It's pretty good. He's pushing in quite deep into the lines as well with the snipers to get the cap. It's quite a brutal attack actually from Paula. He's done very, very well to get that off indeed. Now let's have a look at the resources that are going on here. So Jesulin has a lot of stored munitions. What can he do with this munitions right now? He's got all his squads upgraded.
he's not chosen a commander that lends itself to a lot of munitions. I mean, he's got all of his LMGs. What I would recommend is if you're up against a T-70 and an eventual IS-2, obviously start spending the 50 munitions on telemines.
I think telemines is the best idea for him right now. It's definitely something he needs to look into. Paula starting to pull back into the game at 119 VPs, and I'm liking this, actually.
Me too, yeah. If he makes a game of this, and all our gesticulating about, oh, let's not talk about the final quite just yet, if he proves us wrong, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, well, we can't concede that the start of the game has gone very, very badly for him.
Oh, yeah.
If he manages to pull it back, you know, that is more credit to him for being able to do so. You know, the armies are actually starting to balance out in terms of what he's got on the field right now. Map control going in favor of Paula, so it can be done. It can be done at this point. You know, Jesulin, he's a very, very good player. He should be able to keep on track of this. You know, the real worry is Paula going to make another mistake? Is really what I'm concerned about. But you know, so far so good.
Very conservative sniper play from both players, both keeping all their snipers alive for the most part. And so we haven't seen any counter snipe opportunities yet. You did see Jesulin with his snipers both on hold fire for a long time, waiting for the other snipers to get too aggressive, but that's not just not happened. Elsewhere, we now see Paul pushing up the east. He's trying to take as much territory as he can. He does have 2 victory points. However, I would consider victory points to be his main priority, only being on 119 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be careful of the VPs. I think he's quite comfortable keeping the one on the right and having this engagement with Jesulin in the middle. I mean, if he can out-micro Jesulin in the center right now and start to hamper the manpower down, maybe wipe a squad or 2, then he might just consider doing what he's doing and just pushing him back into his base rather than focusing on map control right now. It might be a good decision for him to do that. The T-70 is actually being used very well. You know, it's still in the game at this point. It's picking up the veterancy. He will be able to use it for scouting abilities as well very soon.
On IS-2 watch, he's obviously got the prerequisite fuel, and he's on 400, nearly 50 manpower soon, so he's only 150 odd away, 200 manpower away from getting the IS-2 on the field.
Yeah, that is going to be a game changer.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Yeah, Jesulin's chosen the mobile defense doctrine. Sorry, I just had to swallow some wine. And yeah, it's not very good in the late game unless you get a Panther out of tier 4, of course.
Look at what's he doing here on this building in the center. Paul is actually laying a demo charge. Is that? Yeah.
Demo charge down. Good demo charge. Like it.
I wonder what the benefit of that is going to be.
Well, Stormless, if he clicks on it, it will blow up the building.
I'm aware of that, thanks for that. Obviously what I'm saying is, have we seen many units getting into that building in this game? Is that what? So what's the decision to put it there?
However, the building is a big thing for units to walk around. So if they're hugging the path to go around it, you know, they'll be close to the demo charge and they could get killed that way, I guess.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. I'm not entirely convinced that is a good idea. The IS-2 has just entered the field, by the way, so I was not expecting Paula to be able to bring this unit out. I'm impressed.
Very soon. And what is that skin it's got on? In nighttime, it looks ever so strange. It looks like a Halloween IS-2, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do not let this trend continue.
I mean, this could be it, really. He needs to work on the right-hand VP right now. He needs to secure that for himself just to keep him in the game. With the IS-2 in the center, based on how he's been playing, you know, mid to late game, he's actually doing quite well against Jesulin. Utilizing this unit correctly, he could actually wipe Jesulin off the board, push him back to his base, which is very nice. Look at that, engine damage goes on the Panzer IV now, so he has a good chance of getting the armor shots in there. He needs to be very, very careful of another Panzer IV coming up and getting the rear armor shots. Hopefully the AT gun and the T-70 is going to be able to help him out there.
Oh, the T-70 gets a good hit off the second Panzer IV. However, the IS-2 is wiping the first one, the one with the veterancy. The T-70 goes down, the Panzer IV doesn't look like it's going down, so a decent trade there.
Look at this Paula getting greedy. It looks like he might try and chase the Panzer IV there, decides not to go for that. Paul loses the AT gun as well on the right-hand side, which is a nice pickup for Jesulin. This is a dangerous situation for Jesulin. I think now that he's seen the IS-2, he probably realizes Panzer IVs are, you know, they're going to be fairly weak against this unit. Paula really needs to work on getting the VPs right now and just putting a lot of pressure to the front of Jesulin's base. He may be able to turn it around.
There was a sub-story going on, and the Zis did pull up near the demo to try and get a shot in, but it did get wiped. However, it has now been retaken. So there was multiple components to that engagement. Very interesting to see.
Double snipers are working absolute wonders for Paula as well. He's actually the tier 1 build for him is actually benefiting him more in the late game. I wonder if he should have just gone back and built that later on rather than at the start. But he's utilising the snipers so well against Jesulin. Bear in mind, Jesulin has 2 snipers of his own on the field somewhere. You know, they haven't really quite met eye to eye yet, but.
Soviet snipers on 28, Wehrmacht snipers on 27, the combined kills for both snipers there. So they've got interesting parity, and we've just not seen them come in range of each other for counter snipes to be a viable option yet. I'm interested to see if that happens in this game.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see the counter snipes. I hope we do. I always love to see good counter snipes going on. It's always good fun to see those. It looks like Paula's getting into position for it as well. Although the snipers aren't exactly taking cover positions by any means.
No.
They're actually...
VPs, Paul does have the central and the eastern VP, so he is in it for the meantime.
Yeah, he's not done badly at all, and Jesulin is starting to very slowly get pushed back off. I think once we see the central area getting taken, we're going to see the left taken by Paula as well. Interestingly, you know, because of this commander choice that Jesulin picked, obviously to deal with the quad cal earlier on, he's now missing something like a tiger or whatever he needs to deal with this. He hasn't gone for the other battle phase, has he yet? So no chance of a panther. He's really relying on an army of Panzer IVs or maybe Pumas to get around this, and it's actually a really dangerous spot for Jesulin. He hasn't
demo on the northern house. Sorry to interrupt your flow there, but another demo on the northern house, interestingly, just bringing our attention to that. So we will see at least one demo go off, surely.
This could be a real upset game. I'm going to be so shocked if Paula pulls this off, and it looks like he may actually do it. I can't really see anything Jesulin has available to him instantly that is able to deal with this efficiently. He could maybe look at trying getting some kind of engine damage or a stun shot with the Pax and finishing it with the Panzer IV, but Panzer IV just isn't strong enough, you know. He's backed with an AT gun of his own. Very
yeah, the IS-2 is a force. Oh, here we go. The Gren's coming close to the house. They could jump in it.
Or they'll get
I want to see a demo.
Oh, yes, the IS-2 took the shot, blowing up the demo charge there. That was unfortunate.
How was my aiming? IS-2, classic IS-2, they always miss. I don't know who they paid to drive them and shoot those things.
Jesulin just lost a Vet 3 rifleman squad, sorry, Grenadier squad on the right hand side. And it's starting to look bad for Jesulin. He's starting to lose units now. He's under pressure. There's only 46 VPs. Jesulin has plenty of time. He should maybe consider getting an extra AT gun. Maybe taking up again, going for something like a Panther that would be a little more well equipped to dealing with the IS-2. But here we go. Jesulin has just got engine damage on the Panzer IV there. Are we going to see the IS-2 come round to that side? The Puma and the AT gun are going over there to help it out, but the IS-2 has spotted it and is starting to make the move over. This is a dangerous point for Jesulin right here. If he loses that Panzer IV, this is starting to look like the upset.
Just get hit by the Puma, and the Pack is in position. Oh, the IS-2 could go down!
The IS-2 should go down here, I think. And did you see the shot from the IS-2 and all the engineers on the Panzer IV? Wiped all of those squads. The IS-2 managing to get away somehow. Looks like the Puma's going to give chase. It's abandoned! Beautiful pickup by Jesulin there. The AT gun couldn't pick up the Puma either. So this is all down to Jesulin now to try and get some kind of AT nade off or something. It doesn't look like he'll get it. Jesulin will come out of that engagement better off. And that is a beautiful, beautiful pickup for Jesulin. That is exactly what he needed.
Look at Paul's resources, dude. He's on 211 fuel and 570 manpower already.
He could pull out another one, but I mean, Jesulin has got to be feeling good after that. You know, it's given him a little bit more time. Jesulin still has 344 VPs left on the table. He can get triple capped, you know, for a couple of minutes and still tech up to something.
Oh no, man! As soon as he sees that second IS-2, I know you're saying he will be jubilant now. You are right, but as soon as he sees that second IS-2 on the field in like half a minute's time, he's gonna be like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
Well, Paul has just lost the squad. Oh no, actually, might get away from the snipers there. I thought he was going to lose that. Here we go, IS-2.
Well. Went around the top of the tree and
called
kind of
in
for a second.
straight away.
Have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Oh, Jesulin did actually get the kill with those snipers in the end, so Paula loses a conscript squad there. It's I mean, yeah, Jesulin really needs to focus on getting this armor situation sorted out. He can't continue to rely on taking the IS-2 down that way. Although it was very good that he did manage to do it. You know, there's too much infantry on the field from Paula right now to try and tackle it with just those units. It's too much of a risk of an anti-tank grenade.
Demo at center VP.
The sector is at risk.
Oh, the whole squad! Beautiful. Paula's got this in the bag, man. I'm telling you. I can't believe he's managed to change it round like this.
It's so funny. You were talking about Jesulin coming back into it, and I was like, demo center.
Yeah, he's just like, what? I was talking about him coming back, and I'm just seeing this like, what the hell? Paula had the worst start to a semi-finals round I think I've ever cast, and now we're in this position where Jesulin's got to be gutted. He played so well throughout the early game and the mid game, and he's just been.
Engineers ready for assignment.
Yeah, Jesulin's going to be sad, man. And Jesulin's going to be really sad because he's a really nice guy and he plays all tournaments. He's a true contender, a true fighter. To me, he said, "I just want to play in your tournament." To me, when I was talking to him, he didn't care what he had to do, and I really like the guy. So when he loses, he must be really sad.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to be sad after this, and I mean, Paula does not deserve this. He does. I appreciate he's come back. I really do. I totally admire that he came back from being pushed up to his base by Jesulin as Oster in the early game. Amazing. But he does not deserve it.
He does deserve it. I'm gonna be the contrarian here. Come on.
Jesulin has made like no mistakes this game. You know, he took down the IS-2. He had great map control. He played a brilliant early game as Oster. He dealt with the tier 1 strategy. He had 2 snipers of his own. What
psychological M3? The M3 wasn't designed to inflict damage on Jesulin. It was just a throwaway to say, look, I don't even need to have a good early game. I will build a stupid unit that does nothing just to show how good of a player I am, and that's what I believe he's done in this game.
Yeah, it's this is just crazy. Is the Puma, AT, and Panzer IV going to be able to deal with this IS-2? I want to see Jesulin pull this back. You know, Paul's managed to pull it back. You know, Jesulin has enough VPs left in order to do this for sure. You know. I am on the side of Jesulin for this here, you know, I think...
Oh, me? Well, that's interesting, because I've just decided that I want Paul to win in a big way. I changed what I said earlier. Jesulin, who needs him? Paul, come on, Paul.
Well, here we go, you know, all Jesulin needs to do is get 2 VPs and lock them down for a couple of seconds. You know, if he can get the AT gun in a position, you know, with some decent anti-infantry, say on the right-hand VP, he will be able to stop the IS-2 from pushing in past their lines. So, you know, it is still doable. It needs to be done. Here we go, the demo charge. I'm worried he might blow his own demo charge up there.
That would be funny. I've done that in auto before.
Yeah, it's never fun to see.
Has only 200 points.
What's really interesting, we don't see a second AT gun on the field from Jesulin. We also don't see an MG gun on the field, which is interesting for me. I think a machine gun would be very, very good in holding these points for the amount of time that Jesulin needs to clear Paul out of this game.
The second IS-2 is now being a menace. You've got the smoke in, and the IS-2 is now just going to wail on the back.
Snipers coming up in support of the IS-2. There needs to be careful because Jesulin could counter snipe here, but they're both going to run in range of each other very, very quickly.
Oh, here we go. Oh, he's decided to retreat.
Yeah, Jesulin didn't spot that in time at all. Paula
Paul
really
was too busy concentrating on trying to wipe that back. In fact, he can't do that. Oh, good anti-tank grenade goes in. All it does is give the Panzer IV a bit of shock, though. The snipers are still on the chase. Or being chased, rather.
Yeah. One thing I really like about Jesulin, he never gives up, honestly. I don't think I've ever seen a game where Jesulin has surrendered. And even in a case like this, we're seeing the second Panzer IV come out on the field. Now, he needs to be really, really careful with this one that's just gone into the base, though. The IS-2 is coming fast back to deal with this. And
oh, he gets them!
What happened? What happened?
He killed both snipers!
He got both snipers? I wasn't watching, I was on the IS-2. I don't believe it. Really, really nice. Now look at this. The infantry now is on the side of Jesulin. The IS-2 is the big player on the field here. This game is just going back and forth constantly. He's still dealing a lot of manpower damage with the Panzer IV in the base. The IS-2 isn't managing to get the right angle on it just yet. Crazy game. Look at this tier 4 going up from Paula now whilst Jesulin is in the base. It's instantly blown up. This is crazy. Look at this. Jesulin getting some VPs back on the board. Now he only needs to hold these VPs for a little bit longer as well. Paul's in real danger here. If Jesulin can keep him occupied in the base, Jesulin could take these VPs off of him.
Dude, that Panzer IV so paid for itself. He can keep these VPs now with his snipers. Like, you come up to cap a VP and you're dead instantly. You know, that was an awesome... He was so lucky. It was RNG got it at its finest. I know your camera may have flirted off it for a second. What happened was the one turret hit, one shell hit the sniper really luckily, and then the pintle man just about finished off the other sniper. Oh man, that is his that is his way back into this.
Absolutely crazy game so far. Here we go, the AT gun from Jesulin with the Panzer IV. The IS-2 is on low health. Can he finish it off here? This is his chance to do it. He's trying to get the AT gun into the position. It looks like he will get a shot off on it. The Puma's coming in as well. IS-2 taking shots to the rear. It is stunned. Panzer IV is going to go around the rear. Is he going to be able to get the shot off? I don't know. Stomovic coming in on the Puma. This could go either way right now. I'm really not sure. He's looking to maybe get an anti-tank grenade off. The IS-2 does go down. This is absolutely crazy. Paula has not got the resources on the field to get another IS-2 out just yet. Paula needs to work, Jesulin needs to work on getting the VPs down really, really quickly. He can actually take the VPs off of Jesulin right now. He's in a really good position and needs to make use of this quickly.
Yeah, he needs to go for it, and Jesulin's on 140 VP, so he still has a barrier. He can afford to lose a few engagements, but before he knows it, Paul and him will be in a race for victory, and it's going to be very interesting to see.
Gun is ready for combat.
This is absolutely mental. Paul has gone for another AT gun on the field. Looks like he's going to maybe steer clear of going for the IS-2 for now and just work on these VPs. He needs to make sure that his manpower is matched up to Jesulin if he's going to work on the VPs this game. It's the timer has been ticking. We're coming up to 100 VPs for Jesulin. It's a real waiting game now. Jesulin had a real break there, and with 2 snipers on the field.
Yeah. And Austrian reserves have been called in. That's a really good decision from Jesulin. He can go for the VPs with those things.
Enemy forces are neutralizing.
Just throw them at him.
This is a tense game, man. This is a really tense game. One of the good things, you see the snipers from Jesulin. Paula is being forced to retreat constantly because 50% of the squads from the engineers are getting wiped pretty much straight away. All Jesulin needs to do is focus on these VPs, and he's going for the triple cap right now. It looks like
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
very, very interesting. This is going to be so tight. This is going to be such a close game.
Oh, it really is. As you said, he's capping all in simultaneously right now. The Zis was a poor choice, I feel. I mean, I know there's medium armor on the field, but with the Austrian, he's going to be able to push that manpower advantage and cap VPs. It's all about the VPs.
It is about VPs. IS-2 charging up through the center of the battlefield right now, going to force a retreat on the 2 snipers there. What are the VPs looking like on the outside? Jesulin is desperately trying to get 2 of the outside VPs locked down. It's only going to take him 40 seconds once he gets both of these VPs to win this game. It is really down to Paula right now to push Jesulin back to the base and secure this last 100.
Oh, massively. The IS-2 is a lot of manpower utilised, and he just hasn't got that on the field. The Austrian were actually a masterstroke if you think about it, because that just opened up an avenue for Jesulin to just push for the VPs. So, it could be Jesulin just about thwarted the major comeback here.
Yeah, it's definitely bought him the time he needed. Going for IS-2 may have been a mistake. You know, he has 2 AT guns on the field. He should be able to deal with the Panzer IV and the Puma. What he really needs right now is infantry to get these VPs under control. He's down to 16 now. We've got about 30 seconds of the game left if he doesn't capture one of these VPs. Currently, his infantry aren't near the VPs. It looks like Jesulin may be able to steal this from him. It's got to be gutting for Paula. Paula came so close to pulling this back off of Jesulin. Here we go, he's making a break for the right VP now. Jesulin's going to put a squad of Ostrupen in there to make sure that that doesn't get captured. This is...
He'll keep the Ostrupen there until death. I honestly do. He will not retreat those Ostrupen. He's going to keep them in the circle till they die. That is the Nazi way, of course.
I don't know if there's enough time here. This is going to be such a last-minute cap if he can pull this off. But the mid VP is going down as well. I don't know if he can do this. He walks out of the point! He walked out of the point there. That's got to be it. Looks like Jesulin managed to hold this off. What a game.
Panzer IV goes down, but he hasn't got any infantry to push the centre with. Why did he go for that Zis, man?
What
and it's all over.
Game. Unbelievable. Jesulin won that with 1 VP, the other 2 were decapped. So close. Paula, you know, came back from that game so hard. He so put everything into that, you know. He really screwed up the start of that game. He did so well to come back from it, so well to push Jesulin off them. I mean, that's no easy thing to do for a start. And it just seems like Jesulin kept his cool. You know, he knew what he needed to do. He knew he needed to bring the VPs down. And he put that pressure on. Paula just made some mistakes with, you know, what he had on the field. I think the IS-2 was a mistake. Infantry would have been the best course of action there.
Massively, yeah. No, I contend that. I don't think the IS-2 was a mistake. The second Zis was the bigger mistake. If instead he'd gone for, the third IS-2 and another conscript perhaps, or anything other than a second Zis, he could have pushed for the VPs. He needed to keep them, and he didn't. Yeah,
he's going to be gutted with that, but what a great game. I hope, you know, in the next game Paul is going to really revise his early game against Jesulin and try not to put himself at such a disadvantage at the start.
Sorry to interrupt, dude. We need to get on it. Game 2 is in progress right now.
Oh, okay, right. Let's quit this. I'm going to go to the outro.
Yep.